Hi there, Rabbi. How are you doing today?
Hey, it's a nice, bright, sunny day here in the nation's capital.
It makes me think of the places where it isn't so nice. Once again, more news out of the Middle East. You and I were talking recently about how accelerated the news is, how we've, over the decades, evolved from newspaper reports with copperplate engravings to radio to Life magazine pictures of the world wars and Vietnam, where we started to see stuff that was happening that week as film and
Yeah.
experience it peripherally. Now it seems like every day we get new footage of what's going on in Gaza, in the entire region. How does that affect us? Are we learning anything from that?
I remember putting on the news and then watching what was going on in Vietnam, but it wasn't live broadcasting. We were watching video, very current video, and some of it may have been sent over very quickly. And after a while, it became like Clockwork Orange. It so what? You watch people getting blown up or people getting killed. You watch it. It didn't seem to have the effect that it had at the beginning, and after a while turned it off. The impact that war is terrible wasn't there. And now we've evolved. Almost all of us carry around a device that does several things. One, it allows us to be easily found. It allows us to be tracked by anyone who wants to track us. Okay. The next is we can broadcast. We can set up our own mini TV studio. This has never existed before. So right now, instead of there being any time delay, instead of there being any poor quality, we are inundated with live pictures of anything going on the planet. And I'm concerned that one of the effects will be what happened with Vietnam is after seeing it, we don't realize how bad it is. It just takes its place and we change the channel or we look for something worse or more graphic.
Nowadays, people see horror, gore, tragedy, and say, "Oh, it's just a special effect." We become inured to it, and we can turn it off. We don't have to watch it on our phone. The mixed reaction I have is, well, if you don't want to watch it, so you turn it off, what do you think it's like for the people who are there who can't turn it off?
Who are living through it. What comes to mind was an episode of MASH, and I don't remember how long ago, but it was a while back. And Hawkeye is talking to Father Mulcahy, and Hawkeye says, "War isn't hell. War is war, and hell is hell. And of the two, war is worse. There are no innocent bystanders in hell. War is chock full of them. Little kids, cripples, old ladies. In fact, except for some of the brass, almost everyone involved is an innocent bystander." I think that's the message we need to learn about starting wars, promoting wars, going to war, is it's worse than hell. And the people involved are all, not all, but the people, most of the people involved are innocent. We can look at Korea. We can look at Vietnam. Go back World War I, World War II. You can go back wherever you want. Look at Ukraine. Look at what Russia is doing to the citizens of Ukraine, an innocent country Russia is invading.
Well, I keep wondering whether we should lock all the congressmen in a room and make them watch 24 hours of live footage. What other solution could we do? How could we get to people to make them understand that this is not something that is ever going to go away until we learn to live with one another?
I think that's the function of organized religion, and organized religion has let us down. And there are many religious leaders supporting political candidates who are 180 degrees from the very teachings of the church that those pastors are supporting. I think it has to be grassroots, Joe. And I think the start may be some of our organized religions and have them stop taking sides and giving a free pass to everyone and challenging decisions and saying, let's stop for a moment. I recognize that this is a political decision. Ukraine has to fight to defend its country. Israel has to fight to defend its country from being destroyed. We see that, but we have to balance that against our organizations that are supporting some political decisions that are purely political decisions, and say, we recognize the politicalness, we recognize what the country's doing, but our religious leaders, those values from our religion, don't support what it is. And I think Hawkeye points it out perfectly. War is worse than hell. And I think it's up to our religious leaders to start pointing that out, not talking about being a pacifist, not talking about getting rid of armies. I'm not talking about that. That won't work. Being a pacifist, not having an army won't work in the 21st century. So let's put that away. However, why doesn't war be the last on the list instead of the first?
Well, I know what's first on my list, Rabbi. Your advice as always. Thank you. Let's cross our fingers and our toes and say our prayers and hope these things will go away in our lifetime, because I don't want my children and my grandchildren to grow up with them.
And I'd like everyone out there to just be on alert and be careful, because a lot of the stuff being posted is to grab our emotions and feelings to take a side against what's being, and a lot of times it's not that clean or easy. Just be careful.